Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Monday. I am a professional chef, professional baker. I just wanted to show you my spice rack. This is from top to bottom here. I have about 60 spices. Do a lot of, a variety of different cuisines and cooking, different dishes. A lot of these spices I use a lot. Numerous dishes. There are some that I only use only maybe one or two recipes, so you don't have to feel, I don't want you to feel like you need all these. Like some of these are just the basics. I think all of us that cook have salt and pepper. That's a given. And spices, as much as I cook like a madman, I usually can't use them up within 6 months. I just want you to know, a lot of people say you have to replace them after 6 months. You don't. You can keep on using them, but just be conscious that they lose some of their strength and flavor, their potency, so you might have to just use more of that herb or spice. Like my barbecue sauce, for example, my chili, I use a lot of chili powder in those two. I did buy chili powder in bulk once, and it did last me for probably about 10 years, but I noticed that the last couple years I had to add a shitload because I wasn't tasting the chili powder and I wasn't tasting the heat, the spice, and my barbecue sauce and chili. I had to keep adding so much. And then when I eventually used it up and got new chili powder, it was like, whoa, it actually had too much kick to it. I had to get used to using less since I had new chili powder. So I have roughly 60 to 70 spices. I'll just go over them here. These are the basics. I don't want you to feel like you have to have them all. And I'll show you like the ones I really don't use that much and, go over what I use them for. Now, the first one is garlic powder. The second one is bay leaves. As you can see them in there. There actually wasn't the, that's a good, better shot of it. I use a lot of bay leaves for turkey, chicken. I put it inside the cavity, for chicken, turkey, things like that. Soup, spaghetti sauce. The next one is sage. I use that a lot of poultry, pork dishes. Cumin, I use that like taco dip. A lot of my I buy taco seasoning, but if I didn't buy taco seasoning, I would use that in my homemade taco seasoning, ground cumin, or that's ground cumin. You can also get cumin seed. I use a lot of Mexican cooking. Salt, we all know, that could be used for just about anything. Cinnamon, I use that a lot in baking, especially in like apple pie, blueberry pie, cherry pie, things like that. Bread pudding, bananas foster. What else? Like cobblers, fruit cobblers. This is the next rack down. So here I have marjoram. That's I use that a lot of Italian cooking, spaghetti sauce. Also, there's Italian herbs. The marjoram, I use that a lot on my pork dishes, like pork chops, pork tenderloin, ham. Next one is also oregano. I use that a lot in spaghetti, Italian cooking, pizza sauce. Tarragon, which is one of my favorite herbs. I use that a lot of that for béarnaise sauce. It's kind of like hollandaise, but you have a white wine vinegar reduction. It's like basic hollandaise sauce, except you take shallots, tarragon, or you can use fresh. This is dried. You use white wine vinegar, shallots, and tarragon. You just reduce that until it's dry, and then you add that to the hollandaise sauce, and that's basically what makes it a béarnaise. It's really good on steak and vegetables like broccoli and asparagus. Thyme, I use that a lot on, it can be used for beef, chicken, pork dishes, soup, chicken noodle soup. I use that a lot. I love it. Thyme is also real good. I put that in chicken a la king, which is another chicken dish with a cream sauce. Then ground rosemary, that's real good on a lot of meats too. Prime rib, chicken, turkey, pork especially. Dried mustard, I use a lot of that. A lot of meats and put it in my barbecue sauce. Over here is this bulk. I got this from Costco. Let me pull it out here. Maybe eventually get a better arrangement, get some of the spices on this door panel over here. They have things like that at Bed Bath & Beyond. I gotta take measurements and then go over there and see what they have. And talk to somebody. Yes, this is McCormick. I got this at Costco probably about 3 or 4 months ago. As you can see, I used almost half of it to make do tacos a lot of fajitas. But this is basic taco mix, taco seasoning. And this is, I don't really use this a whole lot. This is whole cloves, but I use this for ham. That's pretty much all I use it for. I think I might have a couple other recipes it calls for, but yeah, I really don't use this. Also, oh, this is good for yeah. That's the other thing. Hot apple cider, and it's good. Yeah, like apple juice, lemon juice, whole like cinnamon sticks, and then these whole cloves. And then when you're done cooking it, simmering it, you strain everything out. But yeah, this is used. This is real good ham. Just stick them right in the outside the top of the ham. Push them in. And then they also use this for hot apple cider. And I think I got a couple other recipes that calls for it that I can't recall right now. And these are whole black peppercorns. This is really good. Like if you want cracked or fresh cracked or crushed black pepper, it does have a lot better of a flavor than regular ground pepper. Especially awesome on salads and soup. Your guests will be amazed. I don't know if you ever gone to Olive Garden. I think they offer like fresh shredded Parmesan cheese. They have that little machine. A lot of restaurants will, for your salad, your soup, they'll ask if you want fresh pepper on there, and they just put this into a mill and crack it. It'll really impress your guests by doing it like entertainment, and it's really good at salads and soup. It'll taste a lot fresher. And I do love steak. It's one of my favorite foods. I have like 3 different steak seasonings here. This is just salt back here, so I won't show you that. Just a backup salt, but this is Weber Chicago steak seasoning. I also buy, I don't have it right now, but it tastes very similar. This tastes almost identical to Montreal steak seasoning. That's another one I like. This one tastes very similar. I'm not sure what the difference is. But yeah, they taste almost exactly identical. I got this at Costco a couple weeks ago. I haven't tried it yet on steak, but yeah, it's like a buttery steak seasoning. It has like a butter flavor. Kind of. I tried a little pinch of it. Kind of tastes like almost like popcorn seasoning. It has that buttery flavor, and this is pretty salty. This is Lawry's seasoned salt, and you use this on burgers and steak and beef roast. This is it says 25% less sodium, but I gotta tell you, it still has quite a bit of a salty taste to it. And then finally, this is the bottom here. This is where I have most of my spices. So this, like I have potato salad with mustard seed. This is the only thing that I use these mustard seeds for, whole mustard seeds. It's like a grilled potato salad with mustard seed in it. And this is poultry seasoning. We all know what that could be used for. You got more whole cloves down here. That one's almost out. That's why I bought the backup. And curry powder. Again, this is used a lot in Indian cooking. That's basically all I know about Indian cooking is curry powder. But yeah, actually the only thing that they make that has that in it, the only recipe I have of all the thousands of recipes I have, chicken curry. And that's the one recipe I use it for. This here is caraway seed. As you can see, I'm almost out of the McCormick. I got a backup here. I use that a lot. I only use that for one recipe, but then one recipe that I do have with caraway seed, I make a lot of it. I'm Irish, and I do make a lot of Irish soda bread, and it calls for a lot of caraway seed. It's one of my, it's actually a recipe I got from my grandma, but it's a family recipe, got passed down from my ancestors. I'm not sure how many generations back I got it from my grandma, but she doesn't know exactly who started it. So yeah, we got black pepper, that's self-explanatory. Basil, again, Italian cooking, spaghetti sauce, garlic bread, things like that. In the end here, I got chili powder. And this is where it's going to get a little tricky. This is where I need a little more space. This is seafood seasoning. I use this on like fish, lobster tails, let's see, shellfish, like crab cakes, things like that. Grilled shrimp. This is pumpkin pie spice, pretty self-explanatory. This regular sesame seed. I use that a lot in Asian cooking. Quite a bit of that. This really doesn't have much of a flavor. Turmeric. This is can also be used as like a, doesn't have a lot of flavor, but it's used more as like a yellow food coloring. I put it in my rice. It gives the rice sort of like a yellowish tint to it. It gives them more of a interesting color than boring plain old white rice. Whoops. And see where I'm knocking stuff over here. This is allspice. I use this in pumpkin pie. Don't use a whole lot of that. And paprika. This is like a Greek seasoning. I use that a lot on turkey, roasted chicken, meatballs, things like that. And white pepper, pretty self-explanatory. It's real good, and like I use that for like cream soups, cream sauces, like corn chowder, and what's the other soup I make? real good cream of broccoli, cream of asparagus soup. Nutmeg, which I pretty strongly use that in pumpkin pie and a number of other baked dishes. Pretty strong. Cinnamon or cardamom. I actually don't use this a whole lot, but I got a couple baked recipes. Baked good recipes I use this for. I've had this for quite a while, but yeah, I don't use a whole lot of it. Only a couple recipes that call for it. Well, my arm's getting sore from lifting all these up already. And this is onion powder, and I really don't like, I like the onion flavor, but I don't really like, real onions for the most part, except for like French onion soup. But yeah, if you want that onion flavor, you don't want to go through that's the other thing too. I hate chopping onions. They make my eyes cry. So I just use onion powder for any time, anything calls for onion. I could use this in my spaghetti sauce, but yeah, I really don't like, regular, chopped or sliced whole onions. The only thing I French onion soup, this wouldn't work for. You have to have real onions for that. So I do like French onion soup, and I like grilled onions on like a burger, but for the most part, I can't stand cutting up onions to make my eyes water, my eyes cry. So Mom taught me this trick. I just use like onion powder, put in my barbecue sauce, spaghetti sauce, things like that. And these are sesame seed. These are already toasted, so you wouldn't have to toast these if you wanted to. It's really good on like salads, things like that. Like I use this for like an Asian sesame salad. I also have a pork teriyaki pork salad that I put this in as like a garnish, and also for flavor, for texture, color contrast. And this is a chili powder that just has a little bit of a lime flavor to it. And for the last row, let's see, this is just garlic bread seasoning. I use that a lot for garlic bread. This is crushed red pepper. You've probably seen these a lot at pizza joints. And use this in numerous dishes. Asian dishes too. This is just dried green onions. A lot of times I use these because, fresh green onions, like a lot of recipes, you buy a whole bunch, and it's like the recipe just calls for like a couple tablespoons. So it's like, what do you do with the rest? I was throwing out so many green onions, so I just use these instead for the most part. And then celery salt, I use a lot of that. Barbecue sauce, mainly. Like chicken noodle soup also I use it for. Red pepper, also known as cayenne pepper. Ground red pepper, I use a lot of that in barbecue sauce. Chili also, spicy dishes. And ginger, ground ginger, I use that to make a lot of pumpkin pie. And lastly here, I have barbecue seasoning. I use a lot of that, like barbecue chicken, barbecue ribs also. Favorite dishes. So yeah, that's it. And as you see a couple of the bottles tipped over, I'll have to find a better range. I'll have to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. I know they got a lot of options for spice racks over there. Maybe another home goods store, like At Home or something like that. They'll come up with a better arrangement because they got all this room on the door panel here. I know they have racks that can attach to the door panel, so that definitely saved me a lot of room, a lot of trouble. So thank you so much for watching. Happy cooking and baking for those of you that cook and bake. I hope this was helpful. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you again real soon. Let me know if you have any questions on anything. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.